Pittsburgh Steelers still have options at wide receiver inside of this free agency market, and there are tons of options inside of the 2024 NFL Draft. In which direction do they exactly go? We will see inside of round one. And this free agency period just ain't over yet. Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports, everybody. I'm Jason. Let's talk about what the Pittsburgh Steelers are trying to do here at wide receiver. They've been linked to guys like Tyler Boyd, but there are several other guys out there that are possible. But what I really think, excluding names, without talking about people and names, what the Pittsburgh Steelers really need to be aiming for inside of this free agency market is just a veteran guy. A guy that's a hard worker, that fights hard, that wants to block downfield, that really is aggressive in his style of play. That's what I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are really needing in a number two type guy, a guy that's going to be able to play in the slot a lot, a guy that's going to thrive in an Arthur Smith type of offense. With the departure of Deontay Johnson, you had a guy in him that was basically that 1A type guy on your roster. A great route runner, a great separator. You know, those types of players don't come around often. But if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, you have George Pickens, the guy that's going to be your elite number one target. You have to find a guy that's complementary to him. You have to find a guy that does things that he doesn't do. That is the real key here inside of free agency, guys. Not going out there and getting the biggest name superstar that you can possibly get through trade, through free agency. That's not what you're looking for right now. Right now, ahead of the NFL draft, you're looking for a guy that's serviceable. You're looking for a guy like a Hines Ward. That's what you're looking for. A guy that'll knock your head off in the blocking game. A guy that'll fight for tough first downs and be reliable for Russell Wilson, Kenny Pickett, whoever it is. I think it's going to be Russell Wilson. That's not here or there now. That's for another episode. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, whoever's at the quarterback spot, they need that outlet at the slot receiver spot. And that's where the Steelers really have to be setting their sights right now. When you're looking to build a wide receiver room, you want to make it one that's complete, guys. Not anything that's, 2-3 big name guys that all do the same thing. That doesn't do you anything. That doesn't serve you any type of justice on the football field. You need guys with different skill sets. You need guys that make a defense think, make a defense adjust to what they're doing. You need to keep those defenses on their toes, because no matter what combination of guys you have in there, they all do different things, which makes it tough for defenders. You have to do that. That's what you're looking for. And I know people want big names, flashy targets, big money guys. I get that. And it's awesome to have excellent monster guys on your roster that you're paying big dollars to, and to have a collection of these guys. But that's not necessarily what you need to do. And I just want to keep it real with you guys 1,000% on what I think the Steelers should do while building this room. Quality veteran that comes in here and really takes charge of that room in terms of leadership. God's a guy like a young George Pickens that's going into, his third year now as a Pittsburgh Steeler. A guy that's going to be the number one. We get that, and he is right now the number one. But a veteran that's going to be able to take George and show him how to work as hard as humanly possible. A guy that's going to show him how to give 1,000% out on that football field. And again, I referred to a guy like Hines Ward, but that's exactly what you're looking for. And then when you enter the 2024 draft, after you've found that veteran presence in free agency, you got to go then. What do you go for then? Then you go for another big target guy. One of these deep, really awesome guys in this deep draft class of wide receiver. One of these unique talents that come up that's a few years behind George. Allow them to grow to where they don't got to take a gazillion snaps. Allow them to learn. And they're learning also from watching that experienced veteran guy. Deontay Johnson was a veteran, an experienced guy. I get that. But sometimes his work ethic sucked ass, guys. His quality of play on the field sometimes was lackluster. He had his moments that were absolutely amazing. And when Deontay was on, and he was tough to cover. But when you give up on plays and you speak out in the media about wanting to be gone, you become a distraction inside of the locker room. Frisbin Jackson last year, the wide receivers coach, can't control that room. You have real issues and you need to tear it down and build it back up. And that's why I say, go out, get that young guy. Yes, you could rely on possibly a Calvin Austin to be good in year 3. You could rely on that, but he's very small. He's a more gadget guy, a more gimmicky type guy. I still think he could have a big year, and I still think he could do special things in the NFL, but he's not going to be your every down number 2. He can't play in the slot a lot because why? He's small. His physical attributes don't allow him to do that. So if you're the Steelers, go out there and build around what you have already. You have your speedster in Calvin Austin that can blow the absolute top off a defense, that can come in and do special things. You have George Pickens that can catch anything thrown at him and is a quarterback's best friend. You have that. Now build off of that. Bring in a wily veteran and then dip in this draft and grab some of these young budding superstars that are going to be very, very good. What about the guy from LSU? There's a couple there. What about Malik Neighbors? What about you have the Virginia guy, Malik Washington, the Washington kid. There's guys like Troy Franklin, Luke McCaffrey. Wouldn't that be an interesting signing? What about a guy like Hunter Renfrow that's still out there in the free agency market? You have Tyler Boyd still out there in the free agency market. In terms of the veterans, there are options. All these receivers aren't going to be gone. And if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, can you afford to wait to grab maybe your franchise tackle a little bit later? Is that a deep enough thing? Or do you take a guy like a Mims? Or does maybe Latham from Alabama or Funga from Oregon State fall to you? You probably won't get the top 2 guys in Penn State's guy and Joe Alt from Notre Dame. You probably won't get those guys. Those guys probably won't fall to you. But there is a chance that Talise Fuga or Fuga, however you pronounce his name, could be there. The Oregon State product. There is a chance that J.C. Latham can still be there. A guy that's ready to play right tackle. He's supersized, 6'6", 330 or 360 pounds rather. There is a chance that Denzel Mims or Marius Mims is there. A guy from Georgia. He's ranked 23rd on the big board. So getting him at 20 would be something special. It would be a quality pick. It would definitely be very, very worth your value of that pick. It definitely would be. Alabama's J.C. Latham's ranked 17th on the big board. That would definitely give you a lot of value for your pick at 20. But there are those wide receiver guys that are out there that you could possibly have one of those big names fall to you guys, and then you just grab them up. Whoever's there is going to fill one of the holes. There is a hole. So if you take a wide receiver, you take a right tackle, or by chance you have Jackson Powers-Johnson fall to you there at 20 and you take him in the center spot, you fill a hole. You can't go wrong, and I've said that over and over here on the channel. You can't go wrong if you're Omar Khan, as long as you're sticking into those holes, those positions, and you're still going to get one of the guys that are either the best player available still athletically, or one of the guys that are, damn near ranked the best player available and at a position in need. It definitely could work out, guys. Definitely. And like I said yesterday on the live show, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are having their eyes set on a guy like Zach Frazier. I think that's going to be their answer at center if they can figure out a way to go ahead and bring him in. I think they anticipate a guy like Jackson Powers-Johnson to be gone by then when they pick at 20. I don't foresee them trading up because there's still value at 20, and there's still a ton of guys that you can get that are going to equal your value. So I don't foresee them trading up this year to grab anybody. Now, could it happen if they really, really love somebody? Absolutely. But it'd be no more than 1 or 2 spots, 3 at max probably. That would be the extent of that. I'd look for them to trade up in round 2 to go get Zach Frazier. Maybe a guy like Van Pran from Georgia. Maybe they do that also. Maybe he's an option. Maybe they don't have to trade up as far to grab a guy like him. Maybe that's how they work this out. Maybe one of these tackles fall down, something. Maybe that's how it all works out, but the Pittsburgh Steelers have several holes, and they can't go wrong here if you're Omar Khan. You could just add. And what about gaining like a quarterback or cornerback or a center late to mid-rounds, those types of guys, project pieces? What about still going after an inside linebacker? That could be a possibility. What about still going after a defensive tackles? That could be a real big possibility, which I'd look for them to try to do, maybe in the 3rd round or something like that. Maybe even sooner, depending on who they get in the first round, just depending on who's on the board, man. I think it's wide open here. And when the Pittsburgh Steelers got their guy in Russell Wilson, whom they are going to trust with the keys for the 2024 season, and then when they went out there and they got a guy like Patrick Queen, I think that they really made some statements there, man. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are really in the driver's seat in terms of the draft because they don't have to be committed to one direction and they can follow the path and grab the best player available because it's going to probably fill a need on their football team. And then you look at the Steelers maybe bringing back veterans like a guy like a Patrick Peterson. They get rid of Keanu Neal due to a failed physical. Those things are still happening within the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this is the real news that's going on. This isn't the clickbaity type shit of, yes, watch out for this guy that's unrealistic, that probably won't never come to the Steelers, but we'll just say it anyway. That's not this type of show, man. We're going to give you the realness, the real stuff that could really actually happen. And this is, like I said, the real news, not the bullshit news, not the clickbait news. This is what we do here on Mic Drop Sports. So, continue to watch, guys. We will be back tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on a Friday for our live show, which is called Steel City Live, and you can only catch that here on Mic Drop Sports. We're working on also being able to live stream simultaneously onto TikTok, so I'm venturing that also. I'm trying to venture into that. That's going to take some time. Also, tonight on the live show, I will have a new email address set up, which will go into effect for our next week's shows because it's going to be part of our mailbag. It's going to be a way for you guys to communicate with me directly, give me questions, comments, concerns. We'll use that for our mailbag stuff. Also, if you want to reach out to me, maybe if you have like a podcast of your own and you're trying to get me to come on or something like that, you could reach out to me like that on there through that email. But we are going to line that up. We're going to get that set up today. So I will have that email announced to you guys tonight live on Steel City Live. So don't forget about that. And also, guys, we are marching toward that 5,000 subscriber mark. So make sure you hit the shit out of that like button and hit subscribe if you've made it this far because you evidently liked it and want to become part of the Mic Drop Mafia, which only costs you 99 cents a month, which that subscription service is going to take off here soon too as we add more and more fun stuff for the viewer. And that will also get you a chance at the framed James Harrison Super Bowl 43 Pick 6 photo that we will be raffling off in the middle of April. But you have to be registered as a member of the Mic Drop Mafia in the membership tab. All right, guys, I'm Jason. This is Mic Drop Sports. And until tonight on Steel City Live, peace.